Absolute Green Arrow has the most disturbing moment in absolute DC Comics. Not because he's hunting corrupt billionaires and killing them in the most gruesome ways imaginable, but because Oliver Queen, the original Green Arrow, hides an unsettling secret. One so dangerous that it got him murdered, seemingly taking that secret with him to the grave. That's why his mortal enemy, Hector Hammond, will stop at nothing to retrieve it. And that includes forcing Dinah Lance, Oliver's ex-girlfriend, into a collaboration she cannot refuse, in a way that is unimaginably cruel. And this leads her to a deeply troubling revelation about Oliver. And it all starts with what's about to happen in the shadows of a luxurious penthouse in Star City, where Jubal Slade, a notoriously corrupt tech entrepreneur, is nervously draining a glass of expensive wine.
Dude, what are they gonna do? Anyone tries anything, they're ending up like Oliver Queen. You saw what Hammond did to him.
Now, for a bit of context, Jubal used to be Oliver Queen's business partner before pushing him out of their company. And right now, Jubal thinks he's untouchable. He's on the phone, bragging about the $300 million he gave to a political action committee to secure his safety.
Yeah, the new guards are Hammond's personal stock. Totally ex-military. Like, legit killers who've toppled governments and... What the hell?
A green arrow slices through the air, violently piercing the skull of the massive bodyguard standing right behind Jubal, pinning him against the wall.
Jubal? Hello?
Jubal drops his phone in sheer panic. He makes a mad dash for the living room, screaming for his private army to help him. But as he violently pushes the sliding doors open, his eyes widen in absolute horror. The room is a slaughterhouse. Every single one of his elite ex-military guards is dead, riddled with green arrows. Jubal is frozen in terror. He backs away slowly, completely trapped. Suddenly, a voice groans from the corner. It's one of his guards, still barely alive, but something is horribly wrong. The guard's face is grotesquely mutating, covered in sickening green blisters.
Stay back.
The arrows are poisoned. Jubal realizes he is entirely out of his depth. He retreats into the dark dining room, frantically looking around the shadows.
Hey! Whoever you are, I'll pay you whatever, okay? Just tell me what you want!
From the deep crimson shadows of the burning fireplace, a terrifying figure slowly emerges. It's a man, cloaked in a green hood, wearing a demonic skull mask. He doesn't look like a superhero. He looks like the Grim Reaper. He draws two wicked curved blades and glares down at the trembling billionaire.
What do you want?
An example. Details are still unreleased concerning the death of billionaire Jubal Slade, a tech entrepreneur best known as the co-founder of the electronic trading platform Green Arrow.
The very next morning, the news of Jubal Slade's gruesome murder floods every social media feed on the planet. But here's the twisted reality of Star City. Nobody cares. You see, Jubal Slade was essentially the Absolute Universe's version of Jeffrey Epstein. He was a human trafficker with dozens of disgusting assault allegations who used his immense wealth to dodge prison. So, as teenagers and commentators scroll through TikTok, the internet is literally celebrating his execution. People are making memes out of a brutal murder because they are completely disillusioned with a justice system that protects monsters. But one social media post points out a massive conspiracy, knowing that Slade was the co-founder of the trading app Green Arrows. His partner, Oliver Queen, was murdered less than a year ago. Now Jubal is dead too. There is a much bigger story here. And social media influencers weren't the only ones to notice it, leading to the more tragic part of this story. Dinah Lance. In this universe, she isn't running around in fishnets with a sonic scream. She isn't the Black Canary, at least not yet. She is a gritty ex-police officer turned MMA fighter who now works as an elite bodyguard. Right now, she's pushing her way through a mob of aggressive paparazzi while trying to protect a spoiled pop star. A photographer shoves Dinah hard.
Will you move? You're in the way, you stupid, dumb...
Dinah doesn't even blink. She turns around and absolutely flattens the guy with a brutal right hook, shattering his nose and sending his phone flying. Because of that little outburst, Dinah gets suspended without pay. Later that evening, she's sitting in her dimly lit bedroom, having a video therapy session with Dr. Annie Green. Now, if you know your classic DC lore, Dr. Green is a deep cut. She was a therapist for Black Canary who dealt with horrible trauma in the mainline DC. Here, she's trying to help Dinah process her own overwhelming apathy.
Last time, we talked about how all this might be connected to what happened to your mother.
You want to know my thoughts? I read online about this professor who studies social neuroscience. He found having more money tends to suppress the mirror neuron system, the part of the brain that allows us to put ourselves in someone else's shoes, to empathize. And why should they? The rich always get what they want.
Dinah explains that when she works for obnoxiously wealthy clients, she actively tries not to care. She just shuts up, stays numb, and does her job. Dr. Green pushes back, telling Dinah that if she hates her line of work so much, she can just quit. She used to make decent money as an MMA fighter, but Dinah looks away, the heavy burden of reality weighing her down.
Right. In this economy, it's not decent enough.
And how's your father doing?
He's taking to the new meds. Insurance barely covers half, though.
This is the heartbreaking, emotional core of Dinah's life. She moved back home and took a soul-crushing job protecting billionaires she despises, entirely to pay for her sick father's medical bills. But since she's suspended, she has to take a special, highly classified assignment from a sister security firm, which brings Dinah to a sleek, rain-slicked skyscraper standing in the office of Malcolm Merlyn. In the main DC universe, Merlyn is the Dark Archer, one of Green Arrow's deadliest foes. Here, he is a cold, calculating executive protection director. He reads over Dinah's impressive file and offers her a massive promotion. But Dinah looks at the tablet he hands her and feels sick to her stomach.
Mr. Merlyn, you want me protecting him?
The client is Reese Tyler, a pharmaceutical CEO who deliberately covered up the highly addictive nature of his opioid medications, resulting in 1 million deaths. He then filed for bankruptcy, let his billionaire friend Hector Hammond buy his assets, and profited off the tragedy. Definitely an elite scumbag.
Ms. Lance, did you talk to Oliver Queen before he died, or Jubal Slade?
What? Jeez. I haven't talked to either since we were neighbors.
We immediately jump into a flashback, 8 years ago. A young, idealistic Oliver Queen is shirtless in bed with Dinah. He's passionately complaining about how corporations buy elections. Suddenly, a younger, much nerdier Jubal Slade accidentally busts into their bedroom. Ollie tells him to knock, but Jubal is too excited. He thinks he's finally cracked the code for their new app. Ollie excitedly explains it to Dinah. It's an easy-to-navigate stock trading app called Green Arrows that doesn't charge fees.
If we can add no account minimums, it could democratize trading. This app, it could give regular people better access to money. And that's how real change starts, working the system. Because redistributing wealth means redistributing power.
Oliver wanted to make a real difference in the world. He raised the financing, and the Green Arrows app exploded, reaching 10 million users and turning both him and Jubal into billionaires. Oliver became the handsome face of the company, branding his Green Arrow logo on everything. But Dinah was long gone by then, having caught Oliver cheating on her. Eventually, the horrific abuse allegations against Jubal rolled in, and Ollie pushed him out of the company, still trying to do the right thing.
A few months ago, his dead body washed up on shore, his head bashed in. I inhaled every online theory. You do that when your ex-boyfriend is a murdered billionaire, because once upon a time, I knew Oliver Queen better than he knew himself.
Snapping back to the present, Dinah looks at Merlyn. She realizes this protection detail is directly related to Jubal's murder. The rich and powerful are terrified because someone finally touched the untouchables.
We want to increase the protection detail around Tyler and my boss. We've combed through every executive protection specialist, looking for anyone with law enforcement experience to not just protect the client, but find this killer.
Merlyn reveals that Dinah was specifically chosen because she intimately knew both Oliver Queen and Jubal Slade. Merlyn tells her to swipe to the next image on the tablet. Dinah's eyes widen in absolute horror. It's the classified police photos of Jubal Slade's body. He was tied to a chair, impaled with 2 green arrows. His eyes were stabbed out, and his fingers and genitals were completely completely severed. The killer specifically destroyed the body parts Jubal used to abuse his victims, who were both innocent and, more important, way too young when they suffered such fate. Dinah then swipes to a list of potential suspects that Merlin's team put together: Roy Harper, Mia Dearden, and Tom Halloway. Now, if you're a comic nerd, this is a massive Easter egg. Roy is Arsenal, Mia is the second Speedy, and Tom is the Golden Age archer known as the Spider. Merlin's team thinks one of Oliver's former allies has snapped. Dinah stares at the tablet, deeply conflicted, but now she needs to decide: ignore the monsters she works for, or throw watch parties for their brutal executions. Suddenly, the doors open and Reese Tyler walks in, alongside Malcolm Merlin's boss, the sinister Hector Hammond. That's the moment when Dinah makes her decision. She wants no part in this.
Actually, I can't take the assignment. My dad's sick, and
Hammond glares at Dinah, refusing to take no for an answer.
What? Malcolm, why don't you hand me your tablet, sport?
Hammond snatches the tablet and casually reads through Dinah's private, highly classified file. He mocks her for becoming a bodyguard, just to pay her daddy's doctor bills.
I'm guessing insurance covers half Daddy's bills? It's never enough, huh? But work for us, he'll never worry again.
Dinah looks up, a glimmer of desperate hope in her eyes.
Really?
Except, oh no! Daddy just lost all coverage. He can't pay for anything now.
What?
Dinah is absolutely stunned. Hector Hammond just hacked into her father's healthcare provider and maliciously deleted his life-saving insurance just to force her into submission.
Then take a selfie of your stupid pig face, so you remember what a brain-dead cow looks like when she refuses kind people making generous offers. And show up on Monday and be grateful we're paying you.
Dinah is completely trapped. She goes home and holds her sick dad, thinking,
Dad shook when he told me his insurance was canceled, because he knew I took this job protecting people I hated for him. My father's third-generation police. I've never seen him so much as tremble, not even after we learned everything Mom did. He doesn't believe me when I say it's my fault, because he grew up believing what all good dads believe, that his only job is to make things easier for his kid. And if my life's harder because of him, then he failed in his only real responsibility. And all he wants is for his daughter not to see him cry, which is why I need to make money fast and quit this job. Because Hammond and Tyler are insane.
On her very first day, Hammond and Tyler lead Dinah and a squad of heavily armed guards deep into a subterranean vault. For months, they've been trying to crack the security on Oliver Queen's secret doomsday bunker, his Arrow Cave. Hammond is obsessed. He knows Oliver hid something incredibly valuable down here. But as they venture deeper into the dark, flickering warehouse full of archery equipment, Dinah's finely tuned instincts flare up.
Protect the principal! Move!
She dives across the room, just as a barrage of green arrows violently shoots out from the shadows. Dinah manages to snatch an arrow right out of midair before it impales Reese Tyler. But the razor-sharp broadhead nicks his cheek. Tyler starts screaming, clutching his face as the skin around the scratch instantly begins to blister and mutate.
The arrows! They're poisoned! Don't let the arrowheads even touch your...
An arrow slams into the hood of an expensive sports car right next to them. But it's not just an arrow. There is a live grenade taped to the shaft. A massive explosion violently rips through the bunker, sending Dinah, Hammond, and the guards flying through the air in a tidal wave of fire and shrapnel. Dinah hits the ground hard, her ears ringing. Through the thick, swirling smoke and roaring flames, a terrifying silhouette rises: the Green Arrow Killer. He doesn't just shoot arrows. With a swift, mechanical clack, he breaks his bow in half, turning it into twin, razor-sharp swords. He launches himself into the surviving bodyguards with the speed of a demon. He is an absolute blur of unparalleled violence, severing limbs and cutting down ex-military mercenaries like they are completely made of paper. Dinah struggles to her feet, staring in absolute awe and terror.
His form, his speed. Who the hell fights like this? What the hell is he?
The killer carves a bloody path straight toward his true target, Hector Hammond. He grabs the billionaire by the throat, hoisting him up against the roaring flames.
You know what you did, Oliver Queen.
That wasn't me. I didn't kill him. It was harder!
But the green arrow doesn't care about his excuses. With a lightning-fast swing, he brings his blade down and cleanly severs Hector Hammond's hand right off his arm.
It doesn't matter. It's time you all finally faced the consequences.
Hammond drops to the ground, shrieking in agonizing pain as blood sprays from his stump. Dinah finally recovers her weapon, aiming her handgun dead at the killer. She yells at him to step away, but he ignores her, and instead of attacking, he simply drops a smoke bomb.
Next time, Hector, just wait and see what I slice away.
And just like that, he vanishes into thin air. Dinah is left standing in the burning wreckage. She slowly walks over to Hammond, kneeling beside him as he desperately begs for help. And as she looks down at the monster who threatened her father's life, bleeding out on the cold concrete, Dinah realizes she is smiling. Later, after the fire department arrives and Hammond is rushed to the hospital, Dinah and Malcolm Merlin scour the flooded, ruined remains of the Arrow Cave, looking for any clues. Dinah can't stop thinking about how Oliver would react to someone committing brutal, merciless murders using his symbol. But as they shine their flashlights across the stone architecture, Merlin notices something strange. A section of the wall is completely fake. The massive explosion from the grenade must have jarred the mechanical locks loose. Residue testing shows no one has accessed this hidden doorway in months, which means this must be the secret that Oliver Queen hid from the world. This is what Hammond was so desperate to find. Dinah and Merlin slowly push the heavy stone door open and shine their lights into the pitch-black room. What they find lying on the floor defies all logic and reason. It is the body of a young boy. Dinah notes that they would later verify the boy had clearly been dead for a while, but for some terrifying, inexplicable reason, the flesh was not decomposing. But that wasn't the strangest part. As Dinah rolls the boy's corpse over, she gasps in horror. The boy's chest, arms, and face are completely covered in dozens of realistic, human eyeballs, embedded directly into his pale skin. Dinah stares at the grotesque mutation, a chilling realization washing over her about the man she used to love.
Damn it, Ollie. What the hell were you up to?